All right, welcome to this explainer. Today we are strapping in for a deep dive into what's gotta be the absolute biggest rumor currently sending shockwaves through the entire watch world. Look, if you follow horology, you know the industry runs on secrets, right? Whispers, highly anticipated drops, but the rumblings we're decoding today, they go way beyond your standard brand collab. We're looking at a potential release that literally threatens to rewrite the rules of both ultra-high-end luxury and mass-market consumerism. It's wild. We've gathered the breadcrumbs, the legal filings, the concept art, and we're going to break down exactly what's going on. So get comfortable, because we're about to unpack a total masterclass in modern hype.
So let's jump into where this absolute frenzy started. Swatch dropped this viral teaser hinting at a May 16th date. Check out the bright green polka dot background, and right in the middle, that single, highly specific word, royal. Now, to the average person just scrolling through their feed, sure, it might just look like a colorful ad. But for anyone who follows watch design, man, that typography was an instant siren going off. It immediately set up this central mystery. What exactly is Swatch hinting at with a font that carries so much historical weight in the luxury space?
And then, boom, the second breadcrumb falls into place, completing the puzzle. Swatch followed up with this pop teaser, this time on a striking blue dotted background. Royal and pop. You put those together, and you get this incredible juxtaposition. I mean, genuinely, imagine for a second what happens when the incredibly guarded, super exclusive world of ultra-luxury collides head-on with everyday, accessible mass appeal. That's practically the definition of pop culture, right? Taking something revered and making it wildly, almost irreverently accessible. But to see how real this actually is, we got to look beyond a couple of clever Instagram posts.
Which brings us to Chapter 1, Decoding the Master Plan. To really grasp the scale of what's going on here, we have to look past the flashy marketing and dig into the legal paper trail. The timeline we're looking at here totally shatters the idea that this is some rushed, spur-of-the-moment collab. Nope. According to corporate registries, Swatch AG filed for the Royal Pop trademark a staggering 23 months ago. We're talking way back in June 2024. And crucially, they filed it under Class 14. That's the specific legal category for jewelry and watches. Fast forward to May 8, 2026, when these teasers finally ignited the hype, pointing to an anticipated launch date just 8 days later on May 16th. This proves we're looking at a carefully orchestrated, long-term strategic master plan. It's been years in the making.
So, the big question, who exactly is this royal teaser targeting? Well, look at the typography for Royal Pop on this rendered concept caseback. That font is a massive, deliberate, and unmistakable nod to the iconic Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore. The sharp serifs, the specific weighting of the letters, it's basically horological shorthand. I mean, the entire watch community took one look at that royal teaser and instantly recognized the DNA of one of the most famous luxury sports watches on the planet. There's no doubt about it, the target of these rumors is officially Audemars Piguet.
Let's move into Chapter 2, the Holy Trinity Factor. So why is the watch world collectively losing its mind over this? Well, to really understand how unprecedented this pairing is, we have to compare it to Swatch's past mega hits. Think about the insanely popular Moon Swatch, or the bioceramic Scuba 50 Fathoms. Absolutely brilliant releases for sure, but they were kept inside the family. You know, Omega and Blancpain are both owned by the Swatch Group. It was an in-house thing. But Audemars Piguet? They are a fiercely independent Swiss watchmaker. And not just that, they're considered part of the holy trinity of watchmaking, right up there with Patek Philippe and Vacheron Constantin. For an independent giant with that kind of unimaginable prestige to cross over into a bioceramic Swatch project, that makes this a truly monumental, industry-altering event.
All right, Chapter 3, Visualizing the Chaos.
Now, I want to be super clear. These are strictly unofficial rendered concepts, but they brilliantly illustrate the wild possibilities of this crossover. On the left, you've got these incredibly playful pastel concepts. Soft blues, greens, they just scream summer pop culture. But then, look on the right. You have these stealthy, aggressive, monochromatic black concepts that feel way closer to the serious, tactical roots of the Royal Oak Offshore. Seeing them side by side like this really shows off the insane versatility of the Royal Oak's DNA. Translating that legendary octagonal bezel and tapestry dial into a lightweight, mass-market bioceramic material, it creates this visual tension that is it's honestly just fascinating to look at.
But here's the thing. The rumor mill doesn't stop at just a traditional wristwatch. According to the source material, this highly anticipated official launch might actually take on several physical forms. While a bioceramic Royal Oak offshore-style wristwatch is, the obvious expectation, there are some very strong rumors going around about other formats. We're talking about the possibility of bioceramic pocket watches or even standalone pop object accessories. Think pendants or desk clocks. This suggests that Swatch and AP might be aiming to transcend the traditional boundaries of the wristwatch entirely, basically turning the royal oak silhouette into a pure pop art statement piece.
Which leads us perfectly into Chapter 4, Luxury Meets Pop Culture. Zooming out from these specific product details for a second, a release of this magnitude sends an absolute shockwave through the very foundation of luxury. As the source material perfectly puts it, bringing the DNA of the royal oak down into the arena of bioceramic pop objects is nothing short of a culture shock between the luxury world and mass culture. Think about it. For decades, the luxury watch world has relied on scarcity, astronomical price tags, and strict exclusivity to maintain its aura. By taking the iconic geometry of a Holy Trinity timepiece and rendering it in a fun, accessible, mass-market material, they're completely shattering those traditional boundaries. It democratizes design in a way that traditionalists might find terrifying, but that pop culture is absolutely going to devour.
And make no mistake, the reaction to this is going to be explosive. You guys remember the overnight queues, the global news coverage, the absolute sheer frenzy that surrounded the Moon Swatch launch? Well, if you take that existing hype machine and inject it with the prestige of an independent Holy Trinity brand like Audemars Piguet, the source material predicts next-level chaos. We are literally looking at a potential global frenzy that could easily dwarf everything that's come before it. It's a hype-beast dream and a logistics nightmare all rolled into one.
All of this leaves us with a final, incredibly provocative question to ponder. If this drop is real, and if it succeeds, is the line between luxury watches and pop culture permanently erased? If a Holy Trinity brand is genuinely willing to play in the bioceramic sandbox, it means the old rules of exclusivity are just gone. The barrier between high art and street-level pop culture is thinner than ever, and honestly, it seems like nobody can stop it from vanishing entirely. I really hope this explainer gave you a clear, structured look into the rumors, the timelines, and the massive cultural shift this represents. Thanks so much for joining me to decode this one, and definitely keep your eyes peeled for May 16th.